How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the first podcast episode of 2024. Man, I started this last year, and we'll get into it a bit more, but started this podcast last year and just have not had the time to put into it like I would want, but that's going to change in 2024. Definitely have my schedule a little bit more figured out, have my life figured out a little bit more. But I just wanted to hop on, wanted to apologize for the lack of episodes in 2023. I felt like what I did put out though for episodes were like fairly decent quality. But I have quite a few goals for this new 2024 new year, not only regarding the podcast but regarding the YouTube channel BeyerLureCo. As you know, some of you may or may not know, that's what I have going on as well, and just in my personal life and everything like that. But let's dive right into it. So Wyatt, what are your goals for 2024? Well, let's dive into the goals for the YouTube channel first. This has been like my goal for the past however long. It's been quite a few years. I think I started YouTube like 3 or 4 years ago, and it's been my goal to every year to hit 1,000 subscribers. So there was a lot of growth this past year on the YouTube channel. I was pushing really hard towards the beginning of the year, doing quite a few short content videos like Reels and TikToks. Not a huge fan of TikTok. My TikToks weren't that great. They wouldn't do well. But like Reels would do decent, YouTube Shorts would do decent. Just TikTok was not where it's at, and I don't think TikTok likes the outdoor community anyway. So moving forward into the new year, I don't think it's going to be a huge part of my content strategy moving forward. And right now I just have it privated. And yeah, so hit 1,000 subscribers. We currently are at 420. It's quite the number, 420. But I'm really excited moving forward. Of course, we're going to have the 500 subscriber giveaway going on the BeyerLureCo channel. And I'm really excited about that. Haven't had a lot of time to put into what's going to be on the giveaway. I'm painting up a hammerhead shark swim bait. It's just a blank that you can get. I had somebody from Swimbait Universe like send me 5 of them, so I'm gonna have a couple painted up. That'll be kind of like a cool novelty thing. I have some stuff that I have that I don't really use that I'm gonna give away, and then and stuff in good condition. I'm not just gonna like give people absolute like garbage or like shit they can't use. And then I am working on a small mouse wake bait, something that can be thrown on conventional gear as well, so you wouldn't have to have like a big swim bait rod to set it up. And that's kind of how my swim bait journey began back in the day, was with making a rat wake bait. So super cool top water. So I would say stay tuned for that. If you are not familiar with the BeyerLureCo channel, definitely go check it out. Subscribe. That would be killer. And put out 50 podcast episodes. I'm already a bit behind on this because it's on the date of recording, it's January 22nd, and you guys will probably hear this it's going to get uploaded in a few days after it's edited. So it's going to come out on Wednesday. My upload schedule is going to be on Wednesdays. For BeyerLureCo, it's on Fridays. Hopefully every week. I want to stay consistent with it. I'm already kind of behind, so maybe a couple weeks there we'll have two podcast episodes a week. That would be great. And I want to buy a webcam for the podcast. So with the webcam, I feel like I could do more. I can actually show stuff. because we can have a little bit of a video format if you want to watch a video long form podcast, or when you're driving to work, you can listen to the audio version on the different podcast providers, Spotify, Apple, whatever. And with the webcam, that opens us up to having guests on the podcast and them showing off different things that they do. Because first and foremost, I created this podcast because I wanted to speak to bait makers, like fellow bait makers, fellow bait painters, like rod builders, things like that. People that are in their garage or, in a small workspace working on small batch fishing lures, fishing rods, what have you. And just overall talking about fishing, bringing on different guests to talk about fishing, talk about their experiences, things of that nature, just having a good time. Because, no matter what you do, whether you throw swim baits, whether you're a saltwater fisherman, you're a fly fisherman, things like that, there's going to be a whole wide variety of guests on this podcast. As that I'm thinking of, I have a whole list of people that I want on this podcast and that I want to talk to. And really interesting people that I've mainly found through social media, because that's something that can tie this whole community together, whether it be positively or negatively. There's a lot of negative stuff out there in the fishing industry, and we won't necessarily dive into that too much, but something on the table that we can always have a conversation with people about, because no matter what kind of opinion you have and what kind of opinion somebody else has, if you guys disagree, that's not the end of the world. You can sit down and have a conversation about it, see the different sides that everybody has for everything. So with the podcast, 50 episodes, get more guests, get a webcam. For the podcast, I do have a Buy Me Coffee link that's down in the description. It's a little monetary donation website where you can quote unquote buy me a coffee. So you donate a couple bucks and it goes right to the podcast. So that would fund better equipment. That would fund the webcam. And that would just kind of help drive the podcast a little bit more. And then, who knows, potentially we can have giveaways as well on the podcast or something like that, because I've really taken my tackle down to basically what I like. So if I have a lot of extra stuff, if I have a surplus of stuff, I have no problem giving that away to other people, because right now I'm only really using what I like to use. I got a little bit of everything, and I'm definitely open to trying new techniques, but I kind of have just the staples in my tackle boxes right now. I don't have an overabundance of lures and tackle. And then as far as the YouTube goes, that 1,000 subscribers and just continuing to grow, going on trips. There's a couple of trips that me and my partner have in the works right now. It's just a matter of getting time off to do that, and when the weather warms up, because I guess right now it's 46 degrees where we're at in the Black Hills, but it's been really cold. For a week, it was the lows were, or the highs were negative 10 degrees. It was flippin' fucking cold. And so we gotta wait for the open water a little bit, but it seems like these next couple of weeks the highs are gonna be high 30s, low 40s, mid 40s. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm not a big fan of ice fishing. Haven't been ice fishing once this year. Kind of want to go with my buddy, but I'm not putting any pressure on him at all. Pierce, if you're listening, let's go ice fishing. Um, but anyway, along with the YouTube, another thing that I'm doing is that Airbnb experience. And I'll go over that a little bit this year. I definitely have goals for that as well. I'm not sure exactly how much I made, but I went on probably a dozen trips. Here, pause real quick. I'll tell you exactly. Okay, so for my Airbnb experience taking people out fishing here in the hills, I had 16 people book that experience. And granted, my schedule was like really weird during that time. So maybe I would expect more in 2024. Plus, with having good reviews, having good guest interaction, stuff like that, I expect that to be more in 2024. But that was so fun. I fucking enjoyed that. I enjoyed taking people out trout fishing. A lot of the times it was families. A lot of times I had little kids. But with some of the people that I was able to take, and they were from like cool places, that was fun. So there's this couple specifically that was probably my favorite trip, and not even a super successful trip in my opinion, just based off of fish caught. But I took this couple out from Hawaii. This dude from Hawaii does like the same thing. He has an Airbnb experience for fishing, and he takes people out like fishing for bonefish on like saltwater flats in Hawaii. Super cool. And I took them out. I took them out to this spot where there's this hike. They're this young couple. They were fit. They were able to go hiking. That was beautiful. I loved that. We went on this hike, and we did two fishing spots on this hike that's connected to this main lake. And I'm just like, we're sitting there fishing, and it's like middle of summer, and the trout fishing's hard. And I was just like, oh my gosh, these people aren't going to catch anything, and it's going to suck. But luckily, pulled out some magic, figured out what they wanted. And at the first spot, the lady was able to catch a wild native brook trout, and that was super cool. I was like, if we catch nothing else, I was like, that is the coolest catch of the trip. And then both of them caught like 3 to 4 creek chubs while we were fishing, and that was a new species for them. That was cool. And I was like, I called an audible, and I was like, okay. I was like, here's what we can do. I was like, this might be a long shot, or it might pay off. I was like, we can either hike to the next fishing spot. There's like, multiple like dams along this creek that are fishing spots, and they're all really good, but they're all really good when the fish are biting, and the fish weren't biting. And I was like, we can go to the next one, or we can go fish at the lake. I was like, the lake offers us opportunities to catch trout and a couple different species than what's here, or we can keep going through with the hike and potentially keep catching just creek chubs, or we can get lucky and catch a few trout. And they kind of wanted to take some trout home to fish to cook up as well. And so they were like, what do you think? And I'm like, I think we should really try the lake. I'm like, that's what my gut is telling me. And so we go to the lake. We go over to the dam area where it's a little bit deeper. There's a little more water flow, and lo and behold, they caught a few more creek chubs. But they also caught they caught 2 cutthroat trout. So that was a new species for them. I haven't even caught one there. That's like one of the only lakes around me that stocks cutthroat. And there's also tiger trout there. So definitely a spot we're going to be checking out in the springtime once the ice is out, because they'll be pretty hungry and wanting to munch. But just call that audible, and I had a successful trip. And the guy was like, he's like, hey, how do you clean these? And so we cleaned them right there lakeside. And he's like, I'm always super interested in how people, like different people will clean fish, or like how they fish, because you learn new stuff from people, stuff maybe you haven't even thought about before. And one thing that I showed him, I was like, okay, so we're cleaning this trout. I was like, they have, this big bloodline on their back here, because we just like went up through the belly, took the guts out, head off, and that was how I cleaned them. And I was like, there's this bloodline that's up at the top here. I was like, I just take my thumb and from the back and push it forward to the head, and it just comes right out. And you got like, there you go, there's your trout. Descale it, throw it in the grease. Boom. And he thought that was really cool. He's like, this might actually work for some of the fish that we have in Hawaii for cleaning them, because it sounded like they have like similar anatomy with that bloodline up at the top. And just a super cool experience, and I loved it. I loved taking people fishing, and that's also going to be linked down below. If you're ever in the Black Hills of South Dakota area, come check it out. Come fish with me. It's a pretty cheap experience. I am not good. I didn't make a bunch of money off of it. I'm not going to get rich off of it. Probably going to get boned over with taxes from it. So hopefully I can have some tax write-off stuff for it. But yeah, 2024, that's something I'm really looking forward to. Gonna try to like maybe film a couple, ask a couple guests in advance, hey, can I film this, put it up on my channel, whatever. But yeah, super excited about this. Then another thing that's been in the works that I've been working on is having a BeyerLureCo website. And I feel like a website would be a good way. One, you can get discovered through it. Like, my background is in marketing, so I have some SEO knowledge, search engine optimization knowledge. And so it's a good way to like potentially get discovered more. Want to have some stuff on there as well. Maybe some one-off baits that I make. If I paint a lure in a video, I could throw it up on there. Somebody can purchase it. That helps with the channel. Also going to have painted blanks up there for sale. And things of that nature. If or when I ever get hats or shirts, they can be hosted and sold on there. I think that'd be pretty cool. But just having a place to, one, house my content for people to discover. So having links to the podcast, having links to the YouTube channel, having links to AirBnB and whatever. Because there's a lot of different things in the works. There's a lot of moving gears for this. And having a place to host all that would be nice. And just regularly keeping that updated. But I also think having painted blanks up there would be cool. I've been loving airbrushing. I'm going to be talking about airbrushing baits in a future episode here pretty soon. And I mean, if I buy a pack of blanks, I literally can, like, it's not even like, it's not worth it to keep all of those blanks, because there's no way I'm going to be able to like fish all of these. I don't need that much tackle, like I was saying earlier. And it's just something that I like to do. And again, not something I'm like looking to get rich off of. It's not something I've like painting, like bait painting, not looking to make a career out of that. But some place where you can go and buy my creations or my paints, like my painted blanks. I think that'd be pretty cool. And also if I have have some repaints that I'll throw up there. So I have some spoons that I painted that I got. I have some old Rappler repaints that I've been working on, stuff like that. And then also like anything that if I have like excess of something, I can throw it up on there. Maybe somebody else is gonna want it. Moving forward in 2024, I know personally I want to make a new hat for myself and refine my logo for the logo and branding for this podcast and BeyerLureCo. Refine those. I want to make a personal hat for myself. If there's enough interest in those, I can get some made, maybe do a pre-order on that, potentially have t-shirts, have personal ones for like me, friends and family, and then if there's enough interest, can maybe have a pre-order or something on those. Cool thing about that is I can do that all through, I would probably do it all through one of my local hometown embroidery and like print shops. I think that'd be cool, supporting small business, and if we worked with them and opened up like a pre-order through them, it can all get like flow directly through them. I think that would be awesome. And kind of getting into like 2023, I had like super big goals. I was super ambitious for 2023, had a lot of goals, things like that, and kind of just life got in the way. Life just kind of like kicked me in the dick, and I like didn't really like wasn't it really able to like recover and like pick up my momentum again, because I feel like in the beginning of 2023 I was super motivated, I was ready to go, had all these great ideas. Like all these great ideas are carrying over into this new year, which got momentum again. We're going, trying to make things happen. With 2023 though, like the Airbnb experience was going, so that helped. I had a little extra income with that. But as far as like the job I had in 2023, it sucked. So I was working at a factory. It was just something like, it was a job in the meantime so I could have income. Didn't really pay all that great. The hours sucked. The company was not a great company. I was just working at a factory. Had a couple opportunities to like move up in the factory during my like year that I was there, and I was like, well, that's an opportunity, a little bit better schedule, a little bit better pay. And I was like, well, in the meantime, maybe I'll go and check it out. But just lack of communication within the company, and just overall like how people were in the company, it just did not work out. And luckily I was able to get a different opportunity that I'm working at right now. And with the company I was at, one of the downfalls that happened in 2023 and like last part of 2022 was there was the company, like the factory I was working at, depended on orders, and so they weren't getting any orders in, so I wasn't able to like really work as much as I could have. So I'd go in and it's like, hey, do we have anything to do today? No. All right, well, I drove here and maybe I can work a couple hours. Or it's like get like shipped off to like another department in the factory to go do something like boring and not the job that I signed up for, basically. So it's like go to different parts of the factory. Wasn't usually for like a long stretch there, not even working like a full 40 hours. And this was like a job where you used to be able to like do as much overtime that you wanted, but they capped off the overtime and couldn't come in for overtime, couldn't come in early, couldn't stay late, couldn't come in and pick up extra shifts, wasn't working a full 40 hours. I had like time off. Like, you work 10-hour days, so you're 4 days on, 3 days off, which, like, were random days throughout the week. And, well, hey, that was all fine and dandy, but I don't have any money. Like, I don't have money to, like, go and do anything. So even if I have my days off, like, I don't have money to actually go and do anything. And so the big thing is that since there was not a lot of, like, income coming in, I wasn't able to, like, go out and do the stuff that I wanted. I wasn't able to, like, go out and fish as much as I wanted, and, like, film and stuff like that, because that all, took driving somewhere and gas and stuff like that. So I was home a lot, and it just kind of sucked. And then I wasn't motivated to do other stuff, because I could have made baits, I could have painted, I could have done, this, that, and the other, and just kind of, like, really took the winds out of the sails, and just didn't want to, like work on my stuff. And so in 2023, from, like, pretty much January to July, was looking for different jobs, and was still working out that other job in the factory. And it was really funny, because did eventually find a new job, found, like, a really good job, like, kind of a shitty schedule, but a really good job, pays very well, most I've ever been paid in a career. Good benefits, things like that. I'm very blessed and fortunate to have this job, and I'm very blessed and fortunate to be able to do this job. And this brings me into, I'm very blessed and fortunate to be able to continue to do the things that I love to do, and even have more financials to, like, back that up, for me to be able to, buy some of these things and go out and do whatever. So, like, I was able to buy that kayak. No, that's over on the channel. You can go, the YouTube channel, you can go check it out. I was able to buy a kayak. That opens up so much more experiences for me to, like, go out and catch fish. It offers me the opportunity to go out and catch fish I would never have had access to before. So I'm really blessed and fortunate for that. And really, really blessed to have a career that's been interesting so far. Has been pretty stressful, and there's a lot of things in the work with it right now to potentially move around, get new schedules, things like that. So right now my schedule, like, honestly sucks, but very fortunate to have this job. And a lot of the days are stressful, but this is one of the jobs. I've had a lot of jobs over the years since I've graduated from high school, since I've graduated from college. This has been one of the coolest jobs. A lot of camaraderie in this job. It's been great. A lot of different opportunities and benefits with it. And piggybacking off of that, this is going to allow us to have the opportunity to, like, make more content in this new year. Because of my schedule, I don't go into work until later in the day. I have the mornings to film, talk to a microphone, things of that nature, go fishing. I can do quick couple-hour trips in the morning, things like that. And then also allows me to do some cool stuff, like, with you guys. So, like, last year, if you were watching the YouTube channel, and, like, even on the podcast, I'm like, oh, BFS fishing, that's so cool, that's something I want to do. And, like, it can be, like, a little bit pricey, like anything else in this hobby, to, like, get into. Because, like, sure, I have, like, some ultralight lures, but I don't have a BFS reel. I don't have, like, a BFS oriented rod. And so, hey, that allows us the opportunity to get a BFS reel. Right now I'm looking at a Tesora Noya Elf. that's like a Dark Wolf Ultra bait casting, like BFS reel variant. Um, and it's like it's a 8 gear ratio, like a 8:0 or 8:1 gear ratio. Just kind of looking at that higher gear ratio for when I am like fishing in small creeks. There's a lot of those around me, fishing in streams for trout. It's really why I wanted to get into it, is like the trout fishing aspect of it. There's a lot of great trout fishing around me. But that allows us to get that reel. That allows us to build a BFS rod. Still going to be on a budget, but like BFS rod will be rod build, like, will be pretty cool. I'm very excited about it. And gives us the opportunity to go and travel to a couple different spots, not too far from us, but just more opportunities to go camping and hiking and, have mini vacations that me and my partner can spend time together and have experiences together, but also go out and go fish new areas and stuff like that. So we have a couple things planned. You'll have to like stay tuned, because I have a ton of great ideas. Like 2024 is going to be really cool. I kind of just sat here and rambled on for a while, but 2023 wasn't like super great, but I feel like 2024 is going to be really, it's going to be something special, I feel like. And, if we don't hit all of our goals, that's all right. There's always next year. It's not something that I plan on like quitting anytime soon, because it's something that I enjoy. And hopefully can get a couple people to follow along with me and enjoy my ramblings for a little bit. But anyway, hope everybody's looking forward to 2024. If you guys feel so inclined, that Buy Me a Coffee link is down below, or the Airbnb experience if you want to come hang out and we can go fishing. If it's just one person, potentially we can break out the kayak. Just gonna throw that out there. But pretty excited, and I hope you guys have a good year as well. I think 2024 is going to be something special, but we'll see you guys for the next episode.